Charity was already preaching on my message. Adelina, it's good to see you and your family this morning. You, Marisol, and the rest of you, all the kiddos. Just good to see y'all this morning. You know, it sounds cliche to tell you, you feel like your heart leaps when you see people. Every time I've seen you, your whole family always just make my heart leap. I just love all of y'all, and it's good to see y'all this morning. So thank you for coming out. You know, I was sitting there thinking, you know, Pastor Josephine went this past weekend over to Louisiana, you know, with Miss Evelyn's mother passing away. And of course, Apostle was supposed to be here this morning, but he was there for the funeral and everything. So I told him, I said, I can release you to be there. Felt kind of weird telling your apostle that, hey, I can release you to go somewhere. But, you know, he'd already planned on being here, and, you know, and because of what happened to the family, I told him to go ahead, you know, sir, don't worry about us. You know, they have to listen to me preach again. It'd be all right. They'll get over it. But the things that Pastor Josephine come back last night and been talking and been seeing some things going on. We all got people in our lives that we think of that it's like you almost feel like you couldn't live without them. You've got people in your lives that you see that's like, you know, you would feel like there's a major part of you missing because he wasn't there. And we've all got that person that pop in your mind real quick, or people, you know, if you're married, it'd be your spouse, your kids, loved ones, you know, people that you're close to. But on the flip side is you mean something to somebody as well. And I think a lot of times we forget what we mean to people. We forget about ourselves and what we mean to people. And Pastor Josephine had gone this weekend and just talking with some of the ladies that she was with and been around, and began to see how much we are so connected with people, and how much the things that we do in life that we don't realize at times how much it ministers to somebody else. And it's something as simple as us doing the celebrates and celebrating people here. It's like you begin to hear what other people think about you, what they see about you, because we don't always see it. It's easy to put yourself down. It's easy to put ourselves in the back corner somewhere. It's like, that's just me. Oh, it's just me. It's Pastor, why are you saying this? I don't know. Somebody needs to hear it. We all need to hear it. And I was telling Pastor Josephine we'll go for on the way up here. It's like I had somebody that kind of dropped my spirit over the weekend. It's like, and I didn't act on it. And the Holy Ghost got me a while ago, so I had to stop and go send a text to this person. And it's people just kind of pop up in my spirit at times. It's kind of like, God, well, I'm not their pastor. Well, God, they're not in covenant here, you know. It's kind of like, boy, it don't matter where they're in covenant. Sometimes somebody needs to hear something. Sometimes people need to hear what comes out of you. Sometimes people need to know what you see about them. Sometimes people need to know what you see. But in the same sense is we need to know what people see about us. Where do we stand? But the deal is when we learn to celebrate one another, we begin to see things in other people, things we break up. And I tell you, we can all look around and see the bad and everything. We're trained to do that. We're trained to look at things and say, well, I don't like this about you because you did this, you did that. And we can find those things. We can look around and find those things we're looking for. And sometimes it'll be that thing just reach over and just kind of ticks at you and scratches at you, messes with you. But we got to learn to find the things to celebrate. And it's so much easier to find those things. Now, speaking of celebrate, she's watching online right now on YouTube, Miss Tanya Fahrenkoff, all the way from Bridgeport, Nebraska. They're starting this Wednesday. They're starting their Bible studies, getting ready to get the Bridgeport Glory Land going. Amen. So that's exciting. We're all excited about that. And even in that, I was thinking the other day, I was thinking about them. It's kind of like, God, they don't know what they mean in my life. The Fahrenkoffs have no idea what they mean to me and my family. Things they've done, y'all have no idea. No idea. I don't think they know. But we got to learn to celebrate one another. I don't need no Kleenex. Be like Mr. T. Get back up there. Suck that tear back up. Man, I was picking at each other back and forth about that this morning. At the Cloudy or the Chance of Meatballs or whatever. Little black cop, on there, like, get that tear back up there. But people don't, you've got to learn how to express yourself to people. And that's one of the things that we don't do. We don't do enough of it. And I did. I seen Miss Adelina walk in, and it's like, you know, it's not like I hadn't seen you in years or nothing, but it's like just seeing her this morning, my heart just leapt. It's like, yes, there's Miss Adelina. And the rest of them, there's the kids, you know, it's just seeing your faces, and it's like, well, I don't even know you that well. You don't have to. You don't have to. You know, it's like going to a family reunion. I don't go to none of them. Half the people walk in, I don't know if they're kin to them or not. Mom be, well, no, they was my third cousin's best friend, something that's just been part of the family for years. Yeah, they just were part of the family. You know, everybody knows them as part of the family. I know somebody else, we call him Uncle Dean. The man ain't no kin to none of them that we go around. It's just fact he's been part of the family for so long, everybody sees him. That's just Uncle Dean. It's like, how's he kin to you? Well, he's not. Okay, it's Uncle Dean. I call him Uncle Dean. He ain't my uncle. You know, it's just everybody knows him as Uncle Dean. And so it's just, we got to learn to celebrate one another and enjoy it. And absolutely enjoy it. Find those things. And remember that somebody sees you in the same way. Somebody sees you in the same way. What do you mean to somebody? If you can't live without this person in your life, and you can live without them, but you understand what I'm saying. You got to have this person in my life. It's like, it's one thing for me to talk about how much my wife means to me. She should. She's my wife, right? But how much does each one of y'all mean to me? I could go around the room and talk about every one of you, about what you mean to me. Whether I've known you for 5 minutes or I've known you for years, I can find something about you to celebrate. And when you begin to celebrate people like that, they're the same things. They see you in the same fashions. They see you in the same ways. They can learn to celebrate you as well. We've got to learn to train one another and show each other how we do this. I'm seeing a pattern going on here lately. And as we're pushing forward into the new year, we've got to learn how to celebrate where we're at and where we're going. Amen. And I'm going to try to keep it short this morning. Push. You push. So I got called out Friday night. Been raining and hadn't done much. And Friday I just kind of took off. I went place Hunter was working at. They were moving stuff, so I went up there and me and Ashton went and helped them start moving stuff around. Just showed up, be hands and feet on the ground, just help out, be a little muscle, show off the little young kids. Yeah, I still kind of have to show off every once in a while. I can't help myself. 6'2", nearly 300 pounds. You walk in, you got all these little bitty guys trying to move stuff, and I walk over one-handed to get us. Come on. Still got it. But anyway, I went to go show off on Friday. How's that? That's truth. Anyway, later on that evening, I had one of the guys called me, and they had a major leak going on, and he called me and asked me what to do, and I told him what he needed to get started with, and I said, I'll be out there in a little bit. Well, one of the other guys called me. He said, well, I ain't got nothing to do. He said, I'll go out there and help him. I said, all right, well, go ahead. You're going to volunteer, go for it, And it was on about 5 o'clock, well, about 4:30, Pastor Brandon called me. He's like, man, I got a meeting at 6:30. He's no matter helping him. He said, any way you can come to relieve me? Sure, no problem. So we'll go out there, and these guys have been out here working on this leak for since 11 a.m. I get there like 5:30. And I pull up, and it's like, what are y'all doing? What have you got done? Of course, I'm picking at them because I understand the things that we do, but seriously, I'm pulling up, and it's like, you guys have been here for like 6 hours. And I walk up, and it's like, all I see is this big hole in the ground. I can see part of the pipe, but it's like, what's going on? And they're all shaking, just kind of scratching their head. And Pastor Brandon already left to go get some parts. And looking down, and they're just like, they're wore out. I can see the frustration on their faces. They're upset, they're mad, they're cold, they're wet, they're muddy, just frustrated. And I pull up, man, myself, getting out, just aggravating, doing the things I do. You get out, and well, what are y'all doing? What's going on? What is taking y'all so long? Both of them kind of found a nerve. But, pull up, and both of them just kind of relieved. Okay, you're here. Okay, and I do what I do. I get on the excavator, and I start digging around, something was going on. Well, I drop that bucket down, boom, solid rock. I thought, now we see what's taking so long. I got the rock teeth on this bucket, and it ain't breaking rock. I'm doing everything I can, and I ain't breaking rock. And we're literally breaking the teeth on the bucket in the solid rock. I'm thinking, Lord of mercy. But I'm still grinning. I said, all right, guys. So I go to the truck. I pull out the thing everybody hates. Pull out this big old long black case out of the back seat, open it up, pull out the jackhammer. Nobody likes this thing. Put the rock bed on there, go over and drop it in the hole for them, fire it up. So, all right. Now, to kind of give you an idea of what we're doing is I have an 8-inch pipe in the ground that is blown apart. And it has what they call an MJ joint on there, which is a metal fitting on this pipe that's busted. Now, you have an 8-inch pipe laying on rock. Well, I've got to get a ring around it that's twice as big as it is with bolts. So I've got to have lots of room. We get wrenches and all that on and begin to twist these nuts and bolts on this thing. Well, this thing is laying in solid rock in a very small trench that the pipe barely lays in. And so we've got to get this big hole dug around it and up underneath it to get this stuff working. And these guys are frustrated and they have no idea what to do. Now, I say they don't have no idea. They don't get to the point where they're frustrated where they're no longer thinking straight because they're just frustrated. I mean, been down here for 6 hours working on this. Well, you begin to try to find a leak in the rock, and you got rocks stacked where your pipe might be over here, where your water might be coming up over here 30 foot away. And sometimes you got to chase it around. So like I said, when I pull up, there's this massive hole in this lady's front yard. And she comes home and she's taking pictures by the time I get there. And she's like, my husband called and said there wasn't no water and somebody called a leak. And she said, well, he didn't realize it was our front yard. She says, so anyway, like I said, I got there and these guys are frustrated. So I break out what they don't like, it's a jackhammer. Drop it in the hole. So, all right, let's start doing this. Well, as they're breaking it up, I begin to be able to break the rest of it up with an excavator. Begin to draw it out. Begin to break it up, draw it out. So now we're getting somewhere. Now I can see progress. I'm seeing what's going on. I'm sitting up on the excavator and I'm digging, pulling rock out, pumping the water out, getting everything down, getting to see. And I'm up there just grinning. I'm looking down at these guys and they're frustrated. They're tired. They're wet. They're cold. They're muddy. Both of them just keep looking at me, what's next? And I mean, we're working with a light on the excavator because didn't think they're going to be there all night, so nobody brought lights, which is not something we normally keep on the truck. So I got this one little light on the excavator, so every time I turn, they lose their light. I'm kind of swinging back over. They got light for a minute, and I swing out, So it's a frustrating night. It's a frustrating moment. I'm up there just grinning because I'm seeing something take place down here. And I'm watching this, And God dropped it in my spirit. He said, you know why you're grinning? No, sir. I don't know, I'm grinning. He said, you know how to persevere. He said, you know how to persevere. That boy, you talking about something dropped my spirit right there. He's like, wow. I told Josephine, it's like, I don't know, I was at a leak Friday night, got my message. It's like, huh? I don't know, it makes sense in a little bit. But it says you grin because you know how to persevere. You're looking at something that seems impossible. You're looking at solid rock, something that won't move. Yeah. He said, but you know what needs to be moved. There's something in your path. There's something hindering you from doing what you need to do. There's something there. Everybody's done exhausted themselves trying to do something the same way over and over and over, and it has not changed. And he said, you know how to persevere. You brought in a different technique. You brought in something else needed. And I kind of had that thought pattern. Well, they were just too lazy to go do it. But he said, you know how to persevere. And you brought a solution to what was going on. Wow. He said they were mad. They were frustrated. He said they're no longer thinking straight because they got mad and frustrated. They didn't take a minute. He said, but had they taken a moment? He said, had they taken a moment? He said they'd have been able to persevere as well. He said, but they got caught up and frustrated at what's happening. They got caught and frustrated at the situation in the moment. Because in my mind, I do this thing, and maybe it's just me, but it's like if I pull up on something like this, I want to be as fast as I can be, as quick as I can be. And if we run into a situation like this, I start looking at the clock. It's like, we'll be done by such and such time, and I'll be rolling out here going home. That's me. And so I'm looking at this, it's like, we'll be done with this by 9:30. Getting ready to cover up. I was rolling out there about 10 o'clock. But I like to roll up and I like to do this, and they're like, ain't no way, ain't that. We've been here since 11 o'clock. We've been digging since 11:30, which has only gotten to this point, So just keep breaking rock up. They're getting down there, and like I said, they're in this hole, or water, but I'm up top. I've got a different perspective. Yeah. I've got a different perception than they've got. I've got a different perspective. I've got an overview of what's happening. So guys, take a jackhammer and head over here. Take a jackhammer and head over here. Take that corner out while I get the bucket in there and rake it out. And after a while, they begin to see progress. Now they begin to see, hey, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. Of course, they're like, why didn't you get here earlier? Well, it done no good for me to get here earlier. There was a teaching moment here for y'all and me. But learn how to persevere, how to begin to knock away the things that were standing in the path. And God said, you know how to persevere. He said, you're sitting up here and you're looking and you know what needs to happen. And your mind is already finished. You know what needs to happen. You know the parts that's needed. You've already gone and got everything you needed and got everything laid out. Because I did. As they're doing this, I'm over here putting things together that needs to go down in the hole for them. And so I've already put and attached some things together ready. So when it got to the point they needed it, all they had to do was drop it down there to them, and all they had to do was bolt it on. Done. He says, so you've already taken steps. You're seeing a finished product. Because I know how to persevere. I was looking at something. I wasn't getting caught up with their frustrations. In fact, I thought it was kind of comical. Because I've been there before, too. There are times where you're doing something that you just frustrated, and it's like, for your moments, you lose what's going on because you're too wrapped up in the thing, the moment. Yeah. And you're having a hard time looking over at the perception and the perspective of what you should have. And it's like I was getting tied up. So I'm up there and I'm watching this, and it's comical to me. It's comical. But I'm looking at it as like, you know how to persevere and begin to push through. And I went home and was like, Lord, what is the word persevere? I know it. But what is the word persevere? What does it truly mean? And I went and looked it up. Like I said, when it dropped in my spirit, it got my attention. Persevere means to carry on, to go on, to keep on, be persistent. And those of us who are young children know what persistent means. No, please, no, please, no, please, no, please. Go to your room. Please. Kids can be very persistent when they want something. They can be very persistent. So what does it mean to be persistent? Think of your children for a moment. Be persistent. Be determined. Follow something through. Don't quit. Don't take no for an answer. Be tenacious. Stand fast. Go the distance. The very last one says, leave no stone unturned. Come on. I didn't leave a stone unturned that night. But what does it mean to persevere? It means to continue on. It means to look beyond where you're at. See where you're supposed to be. See where you're supposed to go. What is supposed to happen? You got things, deals, and issues in life. We all do. What is it supposed to look like? And can you persevere past that point, reaching for the goal of what it's supposed to be? We have people in our lives, people we fellowship with. You have friends, you have coworkers, spouses, kids, whatever. And there'll be things, deals, and issues. But can you persevere past the point of where you're at? Can you persevere on through with a bigger perspective of what God has said and where we're supposed to go? Right. And it's like I tell you all the time, I apply everything in the ministry side because it's who I am and it's what I do. So everything I look at, I have to look at as ministry, and I begin to look at our body. I begin to look at the church body and where we're at and the call that's been placed on us and the word that was given to us for 2019. And what's funny is that's not the only word for this house, because there was another that Pastor Josephine heard that mimicked ours, a very large ministry. And theirs was Forward in faith. The word that dropped in our spirit was fast forward, meaning this, we're going to move forward quickly. But we've got to do it in faith. And we've got to persevere past some things. We're going to face some things as a body. We're going to face some things as a church. We've got to set our face like a flint. I read those scriptures to you the other day, and I'm going to read them again. In Isaiah 50, starting in verses 4. Now, I didn't give none of these to Nick, so I don't know if he'd be quick enough to get them up there. I wasn't lazy. I just didn't give them to him. Isaiah 50, starting in verse 4, it's, the Lord hath given me the tongue of the learned, that I should know how to speak. A word in season to him who is weary. He awakens me morning by morning, and he awakens my ear to hear as the learned. The Lord God has opened my ear, and I was not rebellious, nor did I turn away. I gave my back to those who struck me, and my cheeks to those who plucked out my beard. Might be hard. I did not hide my face from shame and spitting, for the Lord God will help me. Therefore, I will not be disgraced. When you do what you do for God, you will not be disgraced. When you do the things for what He set for us, we will not be disgraced. There will be nothing comes against us that will disgrace us. When you're walking in faith and doing the things which God has called us to do. So therefore I have set my face like a flint, and I know that I will not be ashamed. For he is near who justifies me, and who will contend with me. Who can contend with you? When you're walking in faith and you're walking out the things of God, who can contend with you? Nobody. Me and Pastor Justin was talking right after we got this word, and we fast forward, and we got to thinking, it's because we want to put our faith on something, and we've been looking for new buildings. We want to look for expansion. It's like, well, we're not there monetarily yet, but yeah, we're going to put our faith on something, and we want to have something. We want to look towards something. My faith is not here. If my faith stays here, we'll go no further than where my faith is. We'll go no further than where I'm willing to go. This is a body as a whole. You will never move forward from where you've got your faith at. If your faith is right here planted, this is all you're going to do. Faith sees on out. Faith sees future. Faith pushes you towards a mark. Yeah. If you're here, it means you're stuck. You're not moving anywhere else. You're stuck right here. Boom. Good. Faith presses us towards a mark. Yes. It presses us forward. It means we got to move forward. Me and her been looking and we got to talking because like you always want to say that money doesn't deter you, but it does if you're not in the right mindset. If you're not in the right mindset, money will deter you. We've been looking at buildings. We've been looking at things. It's like, how can we get in? What can we do? And it's not like, worst we can do is make a phone call and they say no. Yeah. Worst they can do is tell us it's beyond our abilities at the moment. Yeah. But I know what to put my faith on. Yeah. I know what we need. Well, if this building's going to cost us X amount a month, I can put my faith on that. And we're going to push forward. So we've got to move forward as a body. We've got to move forward as a people. We've got to move forward in our lives and everything that we do. You want to persevere towards a mark. You want to put your faith on something and move forward. And that's for the whole body this year. That's for this church. It's for the body. Not only is it for us as a gathering, as a church body, but it's for us in our individual personal lives. Joshua wants to start a business. Joshua's never going to start a business as he sits at home and wonders about, well, I don't make enough money for this. I'll never be able to pay for this. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Truth of the matter is, he may not know how he's going to do it. The fact is, God said he can start a business. All right, God, I'm going to put my faith on it. Yeah. This is what I require. This is what I need. I need this, this, and this. Lord, show me how to do this. Show me what to do. Where do I go? Who do I talk to? What do I do? Yeah. He's got to put faith on it. And he's got to persevere through some things. I'll use him as an example because he's right there. But we've all got things in our lives we want to do. We all got goals we want to see, whether they're small, whether they're large. But we all have things we see and things we want, but we got to learn how to put our faith on it and persevere through some things. I'd have never married my wife. Hear me right now. I would have never married my wife if I was not willing to persevere through some things. People that know us know exactly what I'm talking about. I had a family that hated me. I had a woman trying to throw me in jail over her. I'm not going to give you all my testimony, nor hers. But I had a family that hated me. But I knew this was the woman I was supposed to marry. I was willing to persevere through some things. Because this is the woman I was supposed to marry. 18 years later, we're still married. But I was willing to push through some things. There was a lot of flack that came off both of us. But we were willing to go through it, persevere, because we saw the other side of it. We knew what it was supposed to be. Willing to persevere through some things. I'm not talking about my personal life. I'm just showing y'all something. This is how personal you can make it to yourself. What are you willing to persevere through? What do you want to see? We're going to persevere through some things this year. You're either going to persevere through it or you're going to let it stop you right where you're at. Are we willing to move forward? We'll all get together and say, yeah, we're willing to move forward as a body, and I believe you. I believe you. Are you willing to move forward in your personal lives? Are we willing to move forward and persevere in our personal lives? What do you mean, Pastor? What is it in your life you need to persevere through? Sometimes it's small things. I need to grow in my prayer life. Are you willing to persevere through your mind, your thought patterns, and the things going on in your day to actually set some time apart to say, God, this is what I'm going to do. I'm willing to step out, persevere through all my day because I'm going to set this time up and I'm going to pray. It might be just being able to read the word. I'm going to persevere and I'm going to do this because it's good. It's healthy. It's like I told you the other day, I've got a gym membership. Don't do me no good if I don't use it. I can also walk through the doors of the gym and sit there. Still doesn't do me any good. I begin to work out. My body's saying, quit. It hurts. But am I willing to persevere through that little bit of pain because I want to see some gain? Huh? Am I willing to push through it to see something? We've got to learn how to do that in our own lives. Are we willing to persevere? Are we willing to push through something? Charity was ministering earlier about the champion. He's with us. He's with us. He's with us. But we have to follow. We have to come through things. He's not placed anything on us, but the enemy is throwing everything he can at you. Most of the time it's little speed bumps, but we're dragging our feet. And it'll trip us up. And then we want to start pointing fingers at what went on and what happened. There's things in life, guys, you walk around and you point fingers at everybody. Well, I'm this way because you did this. Well, if you hadn't have done this, then I could have done this. When you learn to go ahead and say, God, help me. I can't change her. I can't change you. I can change me. Because the problem is going to lie right here. Once all of this is right, when my heart towards you is right, when my heart towards them is right, when my perspective becomes God's, when I take his perspective and apply it in my life, it begins to be easy to persevere things. It becomes easy to walk through things. It's easy to begin to move through things. It's easy to overcome things because I'm willing. My heart's in the right place. I'm not placing blame. I'm not looking at my wife as a blame for things going on in my life. I'm not looking at my children as a blame going on in my life. I'm not looking at my boss man as a blame in my life because I'm not making enough money. I'm not looking at whatever. I'm beginning to listen to the Spirit of God. Lord, help me. Help me. Get my perspective right. Get my perspective right. Now I can persevere through these things. Now I have the right perspective and know where to go. I know how to maneuver through these things. I love going to the gym. I don't get to go as much as I want to. I'd go every day if I could. I enjoy it. Some people are like, you hurt when you do that. I know, but I like it. I know what it's producing in me. I'm a 41-year-old man. Most guys ain't my size to do the things I do. A lot of the young guys can't do what I do, and I enjoy it. No, I'm not being a show off. I just enjoy being able to do something they can't. That's most of us right now. We can do a lot of things that most people can't because we have something most people don't. I have a hope that goes way beyond most people's. Like pulling up on that leak the other day and looking down in the hole. These guys didn't got to the point where they were hopeless. They didn't know what to do. They're scratching their heads. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do. Oh, it's easy. We're going to fix it. But I had a hope. I know how to persevere. I know how to do it. But you're sitting in a church this morning, when you sit in there and you have the Spirit of God living within inside of you, we have something that most people do not. It's a sad thing to say, but we are the minority when it comes to the things. We have a Spirit of God that lives within inside of us. I have a hope that goes beyond me. Yeah. I have a hope that goes beyond you. I can see into the future because of what God has said. I can persevere through the things. I can move through the points. I can move on. And once I get to that spot, there's something else because it's just glory to glory to glory. It's new things. It's the things God's always laying out, a plan and a vision. Am I willing to go there? Then as a pastor, I have to wonder my church body, are you going to follow me there? Are you going to help get us there? Are we going to go together? Are we willing to go together? So are we willing to press through something? Are we willing to persevere through something? Are we willing to go to the mark? And once you get there, it's not that you've arrived. It's just another step, going on to another one, going on to another one. We don't arrive until we've arrived. But even then, I used to, I have to watch myself sometimes. I used to hear this when I was a kid. It used to drive me up the wall because I hated it. I still don't like it. I grew up in a religious denomination that's like everybody wanted to die and go to heaven now. Oh, Lord, take me now. I'm ready. No, you ain't. It's like everybody thought all of a sudden becoming a Christian was the pinnacle of your existence. No, that's just the start of your existence. That's just the start of what we do. Yeah, right. Oh, I used to hate that. Lord, take me home. He's got a job for you to do here. He didn't send his son to the cross just to bring you on up. He's got something for you to do. And still gets me. Hear somebody in my family do that. It's like, ugh. If my mama's watching, I'm sorry, but that's just the way I feel. I ain't sorry. It's the truth. But growing up that just people have a perception of what they think God is. Begin to look at here what He says we're supposed to do. He didn't give us this love letter just to say, "Hey, receive me, and you're coming to heaven now." Yeah. We got things to do. There wouldn't be so much in the scriptures, guys. I got more notes. You shake stick it. But there are all kinds of scriptures in the Bible about persevering. Yeah. Part of the fruit of the Spirit comes perseverance. From faith comes perseverance. Being able to persevere through something comes through faith. Because you have faith to see something through, you can persevere through it. I like to look at myself like a bulldozer in the faith.
That's good. I like that.
You can get behind me if you got to, but I'm a bulldozer in the faith. What do you mean? I'm going to push through it.
Yeah.
It ain't going to stop me. It might slow me up. I might spin my tracks a couple of times, but I'm fixing to push through it.
Yeah. That's good.
I run heavy equipment enough. I know how to move some stuff. I can't hit it from this angle. I come from another one. It's going to move. Yeah. You ain't stopping me. I got guys that laugh at me all the time. I'll pull up on job site and the trees are word. One of the guys, he'll laugh at me. Well, get out of the way. Here comes Mike. He's going to take care of that tree. Man, I get over and I take that excavator and just begin to just shred that thing, get down my way, scoop it up and pitch it. So now we get. Why? Because it's in my way. Yeah. I'm going to persevere through that thing. It's in my way. I got to move it. I'm a bulldozer in the faith, man. I'm going to push through it. When we get that mindset, there ain't nothing that can stop us. Yeah. There is nothing that can stop us. The thing that stops us is right here. The space between your ears. This little pile of gray mush in your head, they call it brain. This is what stops us. Yeah. Because we try to analyze it. Yeah. We try to analyze it. When we're supposed to live out of our spirit, man, live on what God has said. So get out of the mush and get into the spirit. Be a bulldozer. Push through some things. It sounds funny, but I like to use things that paint pictures. But I am a bulldozer, and you can be a bulldozer. You might be a little bulldozer following the big bulldozer until you grow up a little bit. But we all have the ability. Yeah. And for those of y'all that see others as bigger and better, it's hogwash. Yeah. It's hogwash. I'm no bigger and better than you. Pastor Josephine is no bigger and better than you. Charity is no bigger and better than you. The thing that separates me is I've received a call and I answered it. It's the only thing. Yeah. You received the call and move forward as well. We all got different calls, different anointings, but we all got the same faith moving forward the same thing. So we can be one bulldozer in front and a bunch of them behind, or we can be straight across. We'll clear more land when we're straight across. But I'm a bulldozer in the faith. I'm going to push through it. I'm going to get to where I'm going. And I'm going to continue to move forward. So how do you see yourself? Well, Pastor, I'm still just a little John Deere tractor just putting along behind you. It's okay. Come on. We'll get you there. We'll get you grown up. We'll give you the right teaching. And there's nothing wrong about being that little tractor back there. Because we all grow. I guarantee you, I didn't start off as bulldozer in the faith. I might have started off as a big boy, but I didn't start off as a bulldozer in the faith. I don't even think I was a beanpole in the faith. In fact, when I started, all my faith was in her. If she said it, I believed it. That's pretty much the way it went. My faith was in her. If she faltered, I faltered. If she missed it, I missed it. Because my faith was in her and not in him. When I learned that my perception and my perspective was off, because my eyes was focused on her, meaning I was looking at her walk, her faith, everything she was doing, and I was trying to model myself after her. Well, if she was wrong, I was too, because I was modeling myself after her. But when I learned to model myself after him,
Yeah.
I don't falter anymore. I don't fall anymore. There'll be things that kind of try to, like I said, try to kick your feet out from underneath you, but you see them coming. Holy Ghost is already warning you, hey, step over it. Let's keep going. Let's move forward. I quit modeling myself after other people. There's nothing wrong with having somebody in your life that you see that you want to obtain like them.
Yeah.
I have a pastor in my life.
Yeah. Come on.
I have a pastor in my life. I want my walk to be like his because what he has, I like it. I like what I see. His walk can't be my walk. Nor do I almost say I'm going to be just like him, but he has a walk that I like and I want to be like him. Just like we see things and, as kids coming up, mom and daddy might have done something you like. They might have cooked a certain way, did certain things. You just want to be like that, but you can't be them.
Yeah.
We're different people. And we get in a bad spot in the quote unquote Christian community and in the churches where we see somebody else that we try to model our lives exactly like them. And I tell everybody all the time, there are no cookie cutter Christians. God didn't make robots and he didn't cut us all out of the same little deal. Because if me and Adelina were exactly the same, we'd be pretty boring because there's not much we could talk about because we'd already know it. Right? If me and Skylar were the exact same, there's not a whole lot of conversation we can have. There's not a whole lot of teaching moments or time that we could actually sit in fellowship because we'd be the exact same. We're all different. God made us that way on purpose. It amazes me, and it still does, how the millions of people that have been, coming, and already gone, that everybody's different fingerprints.
Yeah.
I don't think I could make enough squiggles on a piece of paper. We all have different fingerprints. We all have different looks. Well, I know somebody looks just like you, true, but there's going to be a difference.
Yeah.
You can have a set of twins. There's differences. I still can't tell Kylie and Lily apart. They're my nieces. I still have to look at them. All right, one of them's got a freckle right there, but that's what sets them apart. Because one of them got a freckle, the other one don't have. And it's like, I can see that. I still don't know which one you are. So I just say, Kylie, another, no, yeah, okay, here you are. They may look the same, but they're completely different.
Yeah.
Completely different. I grew up with brothers. He's an identical twin to his brother. Now, I could tell them apart, grew up with them. It's like, yeah, they ain't nothing alike. Everybody else saying, oh, the twins look they're exactly the same. No, they ain't. Be like you trying to tell me my boys are exactly the same. You might see some similarities in them, but they're not the same. They'll be real quick to tell you they ain't the same. Ain't like my brother. What it is God made us individual and unique. And he done it on purpose. We are all different. We have people we influence. I have people I influence y'all never meet. I got people I influence that you'll never know. Same for you. You got people you know that you'll influence that I'll never meet and never know. But we all have areas that we influence. And I'm going to tell you right now, this message did not go the direction I thought it would this morning. It's not by chance you're here this morning either.
Come on.
None of us are here by chance. Sometimes at the very, how to word this, the very way we persevere, the very perseverance that we apply to our lives will stop people in their tracks. Because they're used to you doing something a certain way all the time. Yeah, they're going to get to this point and stop. Yeah, well, they'll do it up to this point, or yeah, they'll be this way for a couple of weeks and change. We've all known those people, been around them people. You know, people, they'll start a gym regimen. They're going to go to the gym. They'll go, all gung ho for a week, maybe two. Give them a month, and it's like, when's the last time you've been to the gym? I don't remember. I know a lot of people that are going to start stuff. Man, they get all gung ho, and I mean, they'll start buying all this stuff, getting everything ready, and then either never do it or change the thought pattern. Well, I'll get back to that sooner or later. Well, I'll try it for a minute and then quit. We all know these people. We've been around these people. But if you're like that in your own life, people, they'll see you. But when we get to that point where we're willing to persevere and push on through, boom, boom, now you got their attention. Wait a minute. This is different. This is different. He went beyond his normal. He actually went to the gym for 2 months instead of 1. Where's he going to stop now? Look into your own lives for a minute. Where are the places that you go to and stop? And who's watching your life? Are you willing to persevere and break on through it? Now, this barrier can be anything in your life that you know about. By spirit, I could go around the room and point a few out, but I'm not going to do it. Well, we've all got spots in our lives that we'll get to and stop because we don't want to break on over. We're scared of it. We don't know what's going to happen if we step over that one. And people are watching our lives because, yeah, it's all right. They'll get up to that point and quit again. They always do. No matter what they do, they always get to that point and they stop. Whether they speak it out, it's a knowledge. I know people right now that going to start things, and me and her kid back and forth like, yeah, sure. Yeah, I see this one coming already, like a wrecking ball. It hit the wall and stop, and as far as it goes. And most of the time, that's what happens. Every once in a while, they might step a little further past and thinking, all right, they're going to go somewhere. No, they didn't. But we get to that spot in our lives where we're willing to persevere and push on through. You're going to get somebody's attention. Perseverance gets people's attention. You might still have those negative naysayers, but you got God behind you. Come on, look at them go. Look at them go. Look at them go.
Yeah.
Are we willing to persevere and push through? Are we willing to move forward in something? Are you willing to move forward in your life? I tell you all the time, you got to make things personal. When it comes to the things of God, when it comes to the things, you've got to make it personal. I don't want anybody to ever come in here and sit down and listen to a message that's in the stratosphere up here and you're just looking for a nugget to pull down. You've got to make this stuff personal. That's the way I've learned in ministries. You got to make it personal. Like I tell you all the time, I'm his favorite. When it comes to God, I'm his favorite. Can you make it that personal for yourself? Can you look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm his favorite? Can you literally tell yourself and say, I'm his favorite? Make these things personal. When you hear people minister the word, make it personal. A word ministered to the house is for you. For me to step behind this pulpit, for anybody to step behind this pulpit and minister a word, it's meant to be personal for you. If I was just going to come here and preach to the atmosphere, y'all wouldn't even have to show up because it wouldn't be for y'all.
Yeah. That's good.
So take the things that are ministered, look into your life, make it personal. The very Bible itself is a love letter of how much God loves us and what He's done for us. The church is an extension of that love letter. Think about that. The church body is an extension of this love letter. As we read it, edify one another with it, build each other up by the Spirit with it. Some of you ladies may still have love letters that was wrote by your significant other or boyfriends or whatever. My wife still has one or two. I think I wrote her 4 of them. Jesus, I don't know how many years ago that was. But it was something that from my heart to her at the time. And she could still go back and read them and, get all giddy or whatever over them. And you remember when you wrote this? Like, no, I don't. But I probably did. It's in my handwriting. I guess I did. But you got to take the things of God that personal.
Come on.
It's, I've always said it's easy for a woman or female to receive stuff on the emotional side because guys want to shake it off. They don't want no part of it. We want to shake it off because, we don't get emotional. But we have to receive the things of God and let Him come in. It becomes personal. Nobody knows me like my wife does. There ain't a soul in this room that knows me like my wife does. But God knows me even better than that. We got to make it personal. Edlina, what are you willing to persevere through? What are you willing to push through? Where are you willing to go? And what do you want to see for your family? Christina, what do you want to see for your family? Miss Chris, where do you want to go? Where do you see yourself going? What has God got for you? And don't ever think what it is too small. Don't ever think of it as too large. God's right there in the small victories as much as He is the big ones. But sometimes we got to have some little small ones to get us going. Think about a football team, basketball team, whatever. They might not have won any games all season. Get down to the last 2 or 3 and they win one. Oh, man. You'd act like they've been in the championship the whole time, man. They just won a game. They're out there bumping chests and high-fiving. I mean, just whatever. I mean, they're having fun. And it was just one small victory at the moment. But they're excited about it. Why? Because they just won something.
Yeah.
They just persevered and overcome something. They got excited. God's the same way over your life. So don't ever think the things are too small. Don't ever look at them as too big. And don't ever think you can't reach out for help with them. I told you, I'm a bulldozer in the faith. But I got another one beside me to help me push stuff through when I need to. I can call my pastor when I need help, and I'll do it. He knows I will. Been times I've had to. Because I need to push through something, and I need some help.
Yeah.
I got people in my life I can call on. I got people in this church I can call on. If I need some help, I can call in, hey, I need another bulldozer over here. This rock's just a little too big to push for me on my own. Need some help. We can push through it. I can persevere through it. If I don't work, I'm going to call out the rock crusher. We're going to get that thing moved. I can't read that from that far. I thought you were trying to show me a note. It's like, I can't read that. Propped it up there. I was trying to read. I couldn't see it. I was going to persevere and read it if I could. I couldn't. So what are we willing to push through, guys? What are you willing to push through? What do you want to see in your life? I want to tell you something. Whatever you see in your life directly affects everywhere you go. It directly affects this ministry. It affects this body if you're attached to this. That's one of the things I had to learn. I remember used to Apostle tell me, whatever you see, whatever you're doing affects me. And I'm thinking, this ain't got nothing to do with you. But in truth, it did. Because everything I was doing, everything I was putting out was direct connection with the body that I was tied to, directly connected to my pastor, directly connected to Glory Land Church. It's because it's who I am. It's what I do. So what do you want to see in your life? What are you willing to go for? What are you willing to push through? Because it affects me. That's why I want to help you. I told you I'm a bulldozer. I'm going to help you. Pastor, come on. I'll get my faith on it. We'll push it. Because what happens to you happens to me. It affects me. What goes on in Miss Chris's life affects Skylar. What goes on in Cheyenne's life affects Evan. We're all connected. That's the beauty of the body. We're all connected. If not, we just cut the foot off and throw it off to the side because we didn't need it no more. We're all tied together. We're all connected. So what do you want to see? So you want to play mine? What do you see for your life? What's God leading you to? Come here, Pastor. I'll give everybody a moment this morning. Come up for prayer if you need it. Come here, Cheyenne.